there comes a moment in life where you must pause, breathe, and realize that the most important relationship you will ever have is with yourself. You can't pour into others when you are empty. You can't uplift the world while silently breaking on the inside. Real transformation begins when you decide intentionally and boldly that you will love yourself. Loving yourself is not pride. It is not arrogance. It is honoring the masterpiece that you are. You were created with purpose, with value, with meaning. Every scar, every failure, every victory has shaped you into someone unique. When you love yourself, you stop apologizing for existing. You stop begging for acceptance from people who don't see your worth. You step into rooms with confidence because you know who you are. You must love yourself enough to walk away from what destroys you. Enough to say no when something violates your peace. Enough to rest when you are tired and fight when your destiny calls. Love yourself enough to set boundaries, enough to choose healing, enough to refuse comparisons that choke your joy. You are not in a race with anyone. Your journey is yours alone. And listen, self-love is not just saying beautiful words to yourself. It is choosing better, choosing growth, choosing discipline, choosing environments that bring out the best in you. When you love yourself, you stop settling for anything that does not honor your value. You are worth loving, and the first person who must believe that is you. Self-love is the foundation of your identity, because everything you believe, everything you pursue, and everything you allow in your life flows from how you see yourself. When you genuinely value who you are, you set the tone for how the world interacts with you. People respond to the energy you carry, and when that energy comes from a place of deep inner acceptance, confidence, and worthiness, it influences every relationship, every decision, and every environment you step into. Loving yourself starts with acknowledging that you deserve care, respect, and peace. Many people spend years searching for validation from others, hoping someone will finally tell them they are worthy. But true worth does not come from the approval of others. It comes from within. When you look in the mirror and accept not just your strengths but also your imperfections, you begin to cultivate a healthier identity. You no longer define yourself by your mistakes, your past, or by what people think about you. Instead, you define yourself by your potential, your purpose, and the value you carry. Self-love also means treating yourself with kindness when you fail or fall short. It is easy to show compassion to others, but many struggle to show the same grace to themselves. When you love yourself, you recognize that failure is part of growth. You stop punishing yourself mentally for not being perfect. You learn to speak to yourself the way you would speak to someone you deeply care about. Every word you tell yourself shapes your identity. So choose words that build you, not words that break you. Your identity becomes stronger when you refuse to compare your life with others. Comparison kills joy and steals gratitude. Everyone has a different path, a different timing, and a different set of challenges. When you love yourself, you celebrate who you are instead of wishing to be someone else. You learn to appreciate your journey, your progress, and your style of becoming better. This is where true confidence grows. Not arrogance, but a quiet, steady assurance that you are enough. Self-love also requires honesty. You cannot build a strong identity on lies you tell yourself. It means accepting where you are broken so you can walk toward healing. It means embracing your gifts and using them boldly instead of hiding them out of fear. It means recognizing your needs, your limits, and your emotional capacity. When you understand yourself deeply, you make better decisions. Decisions that reflect your value, not your insecurity. Everything in your life becomes clearer when your identity is rooted in self-love. You choose healthier relationships because you know what you deserve. You create stronger boundaries because you protect what matters. You walk with confidence because you know your worth. And you rise every time life knocks you down because you believe in the strength within you. Self-love requires boundaries and wise choices, because without clear limits, your energy, your peace, and even your identity can be taken from you without you realizing it. When you truly love yourself, you understand that not everything and not everyone deserves access to your heart, your mind, or your time. Boundaries are not walls to keep people out. They are doors that allow the right people in and keep the harmful influences out. They are a form of protection that preserves your emotional health and keeps you aligned with your purpose. Many people live exhausted, drained, and confused simply because they have never learned how to say no. They fear disappointing others, losing relationships, or appearing selfish. But self-love teaches you that saying no is sometimes the highest form of self-respect. When you protect your peace, you protect your growth. You begin to recognize that not every conversation deserves a response, not every invitation deserves acceptance, and not every person deserves a place in your inner circle. Some connections are seasonal, some are lessons, and some are simply distractions wearing the disguise of familiarity. Wise choices are born from clarity, and clarity comes from knowing your worth. When you value yourself, you make decisions that align with your best future, not just your current emotions. You learn to choose environments that uplift you rather than drain you. You choose habits that build your character instead of weakening it. You choose people who respect your boundaries, not those who test or manipulate them. And you choose paths that move you forward, not backward. Everything you choose reflects how much you believe in your own potential. Self-love also teaches you to walk away from what harms you, whether it is a toxic relationship, a negative habit, or a mindset that keeps you stuck. Walking away is not giving up. It is refusing to stay where you are diminished. It is choosing growth over comfort, healing over familiarity, strength over fear. Many stay in situations that break them simply because they don't believe they deserve better. But when you cultivate self-love, you realize that you deserve peace, respect, and stability. You stop settling for less because you understand your own value. Boundaries also teach others how to treat you. When you let people cross your limits repeatedly, you silently communicate that your feelings don't matter. But when you stand firm, when you express your needs clearly, and when you uphold your standards, you show the world that your well-being is not negotiable. People who genuinely care will adjust. Those who don't were never meant to stay. Self-love helps you make wise choices about who gets close to you, who stays at a distance, and who must be released. Wise choices and strong boundaries create a healthy emotional environment within you. You stop living reactively and begin living intentionally. You no longer allow circumstances to control your peace. You choose what aligns with your purpose, what nurtures your mental health, and what shapes you into the best version of yourself. Self-love fuels growth and discipline, because when you truly value yourself, you invest in who you are becoming. You stop living on autopilot and start living with intention. Many people want to succeed, want to improve, want to rise, but they lack the inner belief that they are worth the effort. When you love yourself, you no longer see growth as a burden. You see it as a responsibility. You understand that your future depends on the choices you make today. And you choose to show up for yourself even on days when motivation is nowhere to be found. Discipline becomes easier when it comes from a place of love rather than pressure. When you value your future, you discipline your present. You start making decisions that support the life you desire instead of sabotaging it. You sleep earlier because you care about your health. You work harder because you believe in your potential. You cut unhealthy habits because you know you deserve a stronger version of yourself. Discipline stops feeling like punishment and starts feeling like self-respect. Growth requires honesty, and honesty requires love. When you love yourself, you are willing to confront the parts of you that need improvement. You stop living in denial or hiding behind excuses. You stop blaming others for your stagnation. You acknowledge your weaknesses without shame because you know you are capable of becoming better. Self-love gives you the courage to look inward and the strength to evolve. It pushes you to read more, learn more, try more, fail more, and rise more. When you value yourself, you also become careful about what you feed your mind. You choose thoughts that strengthen you rather than thoughts that weaken you. You choose environments that challenge you instead of environments that keep you small. You choose friendships that push you toward greatness instead of friendships that keep you stuck in comfort. Every choice you make becomes an investment into your growth. Self-love creates a mindset of consistency. You don't just start things, you follow through. You don't wait for the perfect moment, you build with what you have. You don't seek validation, you seek progress. Even when the process feels slow, even when you face setbacks, even when you doubt yourself, you keep going because you understand that every small step contributes to a larger transformation. Growth becomes a journey of commitment rather than comparison. Discipline also teaches you patience. Real change does not happen overnight. And self-love helps you accept that. You stop rushing your journey. You stop comparing your progress with others. You embrace the slow, quiet work that no one sees, knowing it will eventually produce the results everyone will notice. You celebrate small victories because you understand their importance. Self-love turns you into someone who refuses to settle. You refuse to live below your potential. You refuse to allow fear to control your choices. You refuse to let your past dictate your future. You rise, you build, you grow, and you persist because you understand your worth. And that understanding becomes the driving force behind your discipline and development. In the end, everything you seek in life, peace, strength, confidence, and purpose, begins with the simple decision to love yourself. When you honor your worth, you change the way you think, the way you choose, and the way you live. Self-love becomes the foundation that shapes your identity, the guardrail that protects your peace, and the fuel that drives your growth. It empowers you to walk away from what diminishes you and move toward what builds you. It teaches you to value your journey, embrace your potential, and rise above every fear and limitation. Loving yourself is not just an emotion. It is a daily commitment, a discipline, and a declaration that your life has meaning. And when you finally choose to love yourself fully, everything around you begins to transform.